Good luck. Who dares enter the arena? Zota versus May. Get ready to rock. Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
As discovered 2 days ago, you cannot IAD JSJH on me after RC. He needs some sort of set play in that situation where, like, I'm clearly not playing into the 2P frame traps, and so at that point, once I start moving forwards, he needs to have some sort of plan of what to do. It's quite high up. It's probably the #1 most important thing for him right now. Is it's like not having that part makes his Oki incomplete, and your Oki being incomplete is a pretty big deal in this game. I saw him mash at a pretty unusual point for him, where it was right after IBing Nobiru during Nobiru counter fishing in the corner. I should see more of that this set. Also needs to find an answer to that, where I just do air dash back JD into his face after burst. I think I accidentally blitzed earlier just now. Howdy, hello. There's a tournament in Toronto that is there's like 70 people sign up right now, and the venue fee is like $60 right now, I believe. There are 2 participants signed up for Xrd at the moment, and it runs at the end of this month. I honestly think I'm probably not going to join, as much as I would like to. Because, like, optimistically, it'll be like a 8-man bracket. And I'm not going to play any other game, other than, like, maybe Third Strike. That burst. No 5D. You gotta go. It's not completely out of the question. Like, I'm not completely opposed to it so far. It's just like, again, for this kind of purpose of going to actual offline events that are near me, the only valid reason I would have for going is if I did actually play other games, which Street Fighter 6 is in progress, I guess. But it's not like a type of game right now where I would go and enter tournaments for, because like I know I'm not gonna do anywhere near as good as I would hope to do so far. Unfortunate routing. I think the main thing actually isn't more so, it isn't really that my game isn't being played all that much. Like that's one thing, but it's not like the biggest part of it. The biggest part of it is I see all these Strive setups that are being played, and that takes a toll on me. I think that's why I'm a little opposed to going. It's like the combination of seeing Strive being played that much, plus not having a main game that I play. I think that combo is a little too much for me, maybe. Are you playing in 6? I play Ken, and the reason I play Ken is because I was told he is very easy and he's very good at winning. And so far, I had this idea with 5 too when I played 5. And set play in Street Fighter, like Street Fighter 4, 5, 6, is actually really hard. Like, it's probably harder than, like in some aspects, it's harder than in this game. Where the difficulty doesn't come from the execution of like having really long strings that you need to memorize. Like, for example, like Zota has to do all the buzzsaw stuff. It's not that type of execution, so much as like knowing which button you need to press in which situation. And the number of those situations is just so much greater than in a game like this. Because like if you think about it, I'm playing Zota right now, and whenever I get a knockdown, no matter what knockdown it is, I kind of do the same thing, and it always works. There are some like minor variances depending on the wake-up timings, but for the most part, I'm just kind of doing the same set play okay all the time. Pressed the wrong button to mash there. That was 2S. In Street Fighter, like even in 5, the button that you have to press to time your meaty properly, for example, like if you're doing corner set play, the one that you press has to be specific to the type of knockdown that you got. So like if you got a DP knockdown, then like for example you'll have to press, I don't know, like standing medium punch to get a proper timing. But if you got like a sweep knockdown, you have to press a different button. If you got like a, I don't know, like a Tatsu knockdown, you have to press like crouching medium kick or something. And just kind of like the situational awareness of that is very different from what you would expect from a game like this, like Guilty Gear. And that's like, aside from all the other difficulties that the game has, which are like, in general, the game just demands more attention at any given point during a match, I think. And when I say more attention, I mean like the number of points during a game where you have to be just completely ready and locked in to react to like a, I don't know, like a 20 frame kicking firm. Those points occur way more in the game than in a game like this, and it is kind of a source of distress, I guess. Some characters in this game demand that more than others. Like if you're playing Johnny, you'll definitely encounter that a lot more. But the game in general is not like a competition of who has the better, more consistent reaction speeds. Whereas like 5, like Street Fighter 5, 6, they kind of really feel like that is the ultimate end point of the game.
Heaven or hell. Duel. 1. Let's rock.
And it's actually kind of hard to say which one I prefer. So like as a player, if I'm just playing casually, there is like a preference of not having to do that at all, or like not nearly as much in Guilty Gear. But I think from a spectator point of view, like if you're just watching someone play the game at a very high level, that kind of thing can be very fun to watch. Like even if it's a very basic character, like I don't know, like it's Ryu versus Ken, I guess. The type of hype that stems from that kind of match is very, I don't know how to put it, it's like very raw or visceral compared to a game like this. It's like, yeah, the guy just was like physically capable of doing this thing that should otherwise not be possible in most other situations. And that just like is very fun to watch in its own right. And it's just a different type of enjoyment that comes from watching the game, I guess. Like appreciation of skill. The types of skills that are being appreciated are just entirely different between the games. And again, I'm not sure if there's like a very strong preference between the two so far, personally. 6 definitely is a lot going on. I can play solid for like an hour when I start trolling. If you haven't read the Footsie's Handbook, check it out. I have seen it a long time ago. Oh, that comboed. That JH. Yeah, when the unblockable's a little further away from the corner, that Shadow Gallery is not really comboable. That's kind of what I'm curious about. I wonder if I just play the game a lot more, if I play 6 a lot more, or any Street Fighter, I wonder if I would prefer that kind of gameplay more. And until I put the time in, I can never really know. Damage is too high in that game. Oh, they gotta tone it down. I don't really have any thoughts on damage so far. And I think if it's too extreme in any direction, like it can be kind of adjusted by tournament organizers in terms of like having a best of whatever, you know. That was a throw input. Land into throw, maybe. That was 2H, by the way. I think I'll counter it. It's a free gold burst points. I'd like to unblockable here, but I probably cannot because of bursts. When Bison blocks your DP, you'll see.
one. Let's rock.
5P beating JK.
Duel 2. Keep on rocking.
Yeah, for damage, I really don't think I have any preference. Like, the main concern people have with damage is, like, I didn't get enough like interactions in neutral to determine who's the better player, and that kind of is the stemming point of where people's frustrations are, right? But I'm not really sure. Like, I just don't know enough about the game to tell whether that statement is true or not right now. Like, maybe it just happens to be the case that DPs are supposed to be like a super last resort kind of thing, and if you fuck up with it, you're supposed to die for it, and the game's designed around that. Which is pretty unlikely. Like, I don't think that's the case, likely. But it's just to say, the game could be designed like that. Cannot do 6H, 6H after dust on me. If I think about it though, the other game that I really enjoyed, so that was Soku. And Soku does give you a lot of opportunities on defense to like try and wiggle out of situations. And it gives you a lot of time to kind of sort out who overall made the better decisions. So I guess like maybe I do prefer a slower paced game if you want to put it that way. It also has the benefit of not having a timer, so it really is a slower game, if you will. That game has an infinite runtime, in theory. And the other games I like are like this game, which like Xrd is kind of medium-ish, I think, in terms of game speed. If I look at the other games that are out there, I think Xrd is medium-ish. I think Third Strike is like faster than this game, but not like the fastest game in the world. When I played Granblue, like Granblue 1.0, or whatever it was on release in like half a year beyond, I think Granblue was pretty fast.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
Or rather, like, it's on average pretty fast, but I played at the time Fairy, and then I switched to UL. And I think both of those characters are like not the fastest characters. Like fastest pace characters, I should specify. Nice. Who's open world in Zoku? It's man, it's hard to say, because the way fighting game mechanics present themselves in Zoku are entirely different than in this game, or like any other fighting game for that matter. Like, no traditional low highs, no throws, weather system, cards, card leveling. If you want a top tier though, there's a character there called Yuyuko. And Yuyuko is I believe, well, I haven't checked in a long time, but at least at the time, she was undisputed #1 in that game. Although the balance in that game was like, agreed upon to be pretty good, so it's not like she was obscenely OP or anything. You cannot burst there. And then Remilia is also pretty good in that game. You should probably avoid the character I play, which is Suwako. And you should probably also avoid Oku. Oh shit. I am, do I die? I do. I should have died. He should have died there. I should have killed him. To give you a summary, Soku in large part, or the neutral part of Soku, is largely about who has the better projectiles. Because every character has a shit ton of projectiles, like way more than any character in this game could ever represent. And there are different tiers of projectiles in Zoku. And it just happens to be the case that Yuyuko has some really good projectiles. She has... Patchouli, I think, is also very good, or is still considered to be very good. Patchouli is another example of a... I guess in terms of Soku, an open world character. And purely in terms of projectile strength, she is, I think, undisputed #1. Iku is also considered incredibly good. I don't know why I did that combo. Patchouli knowledge, yeah. She's the only character in the game to have, I think it is 5 special move inputs in the game. Is it 5 or 4? I think it's 5. So the game is designed for keyboard technically, so it doesn't have any like weird funky motion inputs or anything. In fact, supers are all one button because they're all supers used by pressing a card that you have in your deck. Oh, you got a mask there. Nice. Oh, it's the wrong direction, Zota. If you like Asuka gameplay from Strive, you'll probably like Patchouli in that game. I think they're reasonable parallels for how different of a game they are. Oh, Sakuya is also very good in the game. Sakuya is a Oki focus character in a game where Oki is like the strongest thing in the world. But here's the thing: if you really want to in Zoku, you can really make your own character if you really want to, because there are a lot of cards that are kind of considered to be like not necessary, but like are heavily recommended that you put into your deck. And so you won't see like a huge variance of cards in tournaments and stuff. But people will still use like the less common cards, and that kind of is like one way to vary the way that you play the game, and that's pretty cool to see. On the 6P, I got beaten by JH, I think. I need to check how active the 2P is. Delta Backdash has 6 frames in Vol. And that 2P is catching me a lot. Do you pick the cards before you start the match? Yes. So your deck always has 20 cards. Unless you hack the game and put less into it. You always have 20 cards. You start the game with 5 card slots on the bottom of the screen. And by doing things in the game, you gain meter, like card meter. Once you fill up 1 card meter, you draw 1 card. And you can draw, again, up to 5 cards at any given point. The card that is drawn is completely random, so you cannot choose which card appears first or anything. Should kill here. He should have killed her. RC, 6H charge. Whale super. There's one card in the game that's Pot of Greed, and I'm sure you know what Pot of Greed does. And surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, it does see a fair amount of use in actual matches. I just tried to do a Street Fighter throw input in this game. Well, blasphemy.
Duel 2. All or nothing. Duel 3. Keep on rocking.
That's a lot of damage. Oh, that's a lot of damage. You did not kill that puddle.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
I used to play Mei in this game when I very first started playing. And that was before, obviously, I was playing Zato. And the biggest reason I was playing Mei was because I was told this is like a very air mobile, or like a character that is in the air a lot, and also has good air mobility. And that was enticing to me, specifically because I was looking for that as a Soku player. Oh, that was blockable. Because Soku, the freedom of mobility in that game is nearly unmatched outside of, like, I guess Marvel games. And so I felt like at the time, well, I might as well play a character that kind of caters to what I'm already used to. And so Mei was the pick at the time. But it just goes to show, like, that is how much of a, like, an air mobility focused game it is. If you like that idea, you may have a good chance of enjoying Soku also. I need 2 more for stun. I think I die. Yeah.
Duel 3. Keep on rocking.
I also played on keyboard at the time because I played Soku on keyboard. And it's not like I was a fighting game player before then. And keyboard was really not that bad. For me, at least. And then I got a stick with a lever. Oh, I should die here. That is not allowed. You cannot do that summon there. You like EFC too, right? I do, but not to the extent of Soku. And it's not because I prefer the gameplay of one or the other necessarily, it's more just familiarity, that's it. I do really like EFC, the concept of EFC. I'm dropping a lot of stuff right now. EFC got me excited. This actually kills.
Turn up the heat.
EFC is definitely more like traditional fighting gamey of a game design. People will certainly prefer one over the other. Who did he boot up in EFZ? It was Mai. She's a puppet character with Yozanzen in the very far-reaching sword special, or normal in that game. And she also has a one-frame link between I think it's like close B into knockdown for some reason, but. She also has teleports, also, just to add to the list of things that are in the kit. There's a very good, or at least from what I can tell, a very good write-up on the game. On, I actually forgot the name, but it's a site run by Novril Tataki, I think his name is. And it was made by, like, the English EFD community, or members of it. And it is very comprehensive as to what each character does, how some of the systems work. I think the site was like Chemical Love? It's like some Ino move name, I think. Don't die here. No, I do. There were some other contenders for characters I would play in that game. One of them was Unknown.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
Actually, I think Unknown was the only other one I considered at the time. He's also a very cool looking character in that game. I play Minagi and Mizuzu. It's been so long that I don't actually remember what the what the names are. If I see the sprite, like the face, I'll know. But it's like it's one of those games where if I didn't have this game to play, I would have a lot of interest in learning. Like that list is like BlazBlue, CF, Melty, AC, Vampire Savior for sure is up there. There's Visa. There's like CVS2 also, kind of. It's kind of lower on the priority list, but it's still up there. There's Fate Unlimited Codes. That one's pretty high up there. Oh, nice. In fact, I think popularity, or like how much the game is played aside, of that list, Unlimited Codes is probably the highest one in that list. The game is very enjoyable to play around in training mode, at least. I play, or I don't know if I should played. I should say played, but the character I was trying out the most was Kirei in that game. Kirei, and then followed up by Sakura. And then followed up by Archer. There's something to be said about like the feel of how a game, or just like in general how a game feels when you're controlling a character. Like for me, this game obviously feels really good. Third Strike feels really good. And Unlimited Codes is also super high up there in terms of just raw game feel. Under Night is also pretty high up there. That game's problem though is like with everything that is not contained within training mode. But like the time I spent in that game just smashing kick loops with Kirei was super enjoyable, I gotta say. Those are hard combos too. That game is very execution heavy for some reason. And it is pretty awesome to see. The one complaint I did have with the game is and this applies to a lot of Kusoge, but the game doesn't have the most like detailed source of info for a lot of like what characters do, or like what the moves, frame datas are like. Like, I'm sure if I can find just arcade footage, that wouldn't be too big of a problem. conversely, I think none of the KOF games really felt that good for me. Like even 13 relatively speaking to the other KOF entries was like, again, relatively much better, but there was something a little bit jank about all of those games. Of all the SNK titles, I think Garo was the least offensive feeling one to me. But I didn't put that much time into Garo at the time. Damn, I'm at 10-9 right now. This guy's winning too much. Hold on. The worst thing about playing older games, lack of data, yeah.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
I started playing Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. Yeah, that game I think is infamous for having some weird special motion inputs. Like I know Mr. Karate in that game has like a forward, down forward, up forward, down forward, some crazy shit like that. And the input reader requirement for it is pretty crazy too. I gotta find what the actual input was. It's like, you have to press all of those inputs consecutively. And it had to, like, there was something that was really difficult about it that had to do with the window available that you could input each one with. Like, you had to return to neutral after each input. But in addition to that, you also had to, like, do it in a very specific number of frames. To my knowledge.
Duel 3. All or nothing.
Sounds haunted? Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me too. I don't really play games that have difficult input readers nowadays. There's like, the worst one I guess is Third Strike, and Third Strike really doesn't have that much difficulty. If I still played ST, that would by far be the hardest one, but like, ever since I started playing on Hitbox, I think I kind of just gravitated away from those games. I wanted the Great White again.
Keep on rocking.
I guess plus R kind of has a difficult reader too. But I don't know if it's like that far from Third Strike in terms of input reader difficulty. It definitely is very specific as to, like, sometimes in some scenarios, in how many frames it wants a certain number of inputs. Like, for example, for certain TK charge stunnage combo loops for Kai, the timing for doing the jump into stunnage feels like really, really tight. The buffer and plus R definitely threw me off. Yeah, the buffer. Yeah, for sure. I still do my FRCs in kind of a getaway in that game, because or in particular, I have to do stun edge FRC, or a 2D stun edge FRC, into like a frame perfect 6H afterwards with Kai. And that particular combo is pretty difficult. Or like any combo in that game that requires a move to come out right after you do FRC. Those are pretty hard. And so I kind of just piano 4 buttons, like PKSH. And that has the risk of accidentally giving you IK, which definitely has happened a lot to me. On the bright side, it's Kai IK, so it is very quick to come out, at least. Comes out in like half a second, turn it off in half a second, not bad. but, you know, obviously not ideal. Going for a command throw as a Shadow Gallery punish. I tried Reload too, and I think Reload has like roughly the same input reader, if not the same. It's just that game doesn't have, to my knowledge, that game doesn't have as many like strict input requirements as in Plus R. Stun soon. I think if I can combo this, I stun? No, we're pretty close. Yeah, Mei has high stun rating. Should work. Yeah, it's fine. That does not work. Oh, I screwed up the combo. I need to drop a collection with all the old GT games. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a bit, and I think including Exert in there, with like a better training mode system, and rollback obviously, would be pretty nice. Like, don't change anything about the game, but just add better training mode into the game. And include reload as well. So it'll be GT1, XX, the vanilla one, reload, AC plus R, Exert. And they all have modern training modes with rollback. That'd be nice. I don't know what that was. Going up into throw, likely. I think that works on 6. It does not. Okay. Well, that was the reason why I did that in the first place, so it does not work. Oh, you know what? I think if I trade with 6k and Amorphous, it might work in that case. But that condition is like Your reversal super has to trade to begin with, which is kind of sad. That might not work. Oh, it's fine. Just barely. Killing Eddie there is very painful, as usual. That doesn't work. Oh, nice. I tried to do two things at once. I tried to break the law. And then I also try to jump at the same time, which obviously does not work simultaneously.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
You can kill there. And yeah, you should kill there.
All or nothing.
Ending the round has near infinite value. He's trying to react to bursts. It's not the worst idea in the world for Mei to set up her own summon versus Zato getting to set his own up from full screen.
Heaven or hell. Duel.
But that is pretty scary at 1 HP. It's auto normals.
Duel. All or nothing.
a very close call on unsummon. So you can choose whether or not to do Deadman's Hand sometimes for the unsummon. And the only difference is if you don't do DMH, you get to save a little bit of eddy gauge that's left over because you have to throw that away when you press the Deadman's Hands. So it's like a very small optimization if you know for sure you're not going to run out of gauge before unsummoning. I feel like he's still not getting enough damage as me, but that could also just be because I'm watching Kadako as the reference points. I do think, like, not unsimilarly to Soul, this is a character that can really optimize combo damage and like confirm damage. You can spend your whole life just working on that, and you'd be constantly seeing improvements. It's an unusual throw, please. Works with me. Where is my super? That's fine. I don't know if anyone noticed, but Eddie faced the wrong direction twice in a row near the end there. It's the one downside with Nobiru, is the direction matters a lot. Panic throws win so much in this game. Yeah, it does, especially with this character, because that is a free knockdown, and knockdowns are supposed to be very difficult to achieve for Zota. 2k losing there is a little sad, I gotta say. We're pretty close 2k with an A5k. And it's still lost. Actually, that was a free kill too. There was even risk at the end there. I think that is one pretty solidly positive thing about Hitbox, is I think throws are a little bit cleaner. I don't think it's that big of a difference, but it's also partly probably because I am comparing it to a Korean like bat top lover, and bat tops have less of an issue of the wrong input coming out in terms of like a 6 versus a 9 or a 1 or a 3, all the diagonals. Like on a square gate, the distance it takes to go from 6 to 3 or 6 to 9 is relatively short compared to a circle gate or a non-gate going from a 6 to a 3 or a 9. And so I think there is less room for error when you are playing on a no gates lever. But if you're someone who plays on a traditional Japanese square gate lever, I can see Hitbox being like a very important improvement. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna try not lose. A little high up, yeah. You die here even with the throw Croatian. Yeah. 2H makes her duck like crazy. Like the JS there was pretty deep in, but not enough. There's no other button Zota has in the air that will reach any deeper. I think you can get Gold Burst to side switch in that situation. The May's doing 6k, I think you can. I could be thinking of 3k. Maybe 6k is not side switchable. Yeah, that is not possible on me. The main problem for the most part was just she has access to ways to build up risk before getting the good hits. That hurts a lot on this character. It's not a uniquely Mei issue, but it is one of the factors. It's too late. That's fine. Executioner worked anyway, yeah. Worked in my favor, wouldn't have stunned otherwise. All that needs to be changed for Executor is No, actually, they would have to change, I think, two different things. They would have to make the hitbox taller and like extend both on the top and the bottom. And then they would also have to make it so that it like vacuums towards like the center of the sword vertically for it to be like truly accident safe, I guess. But I think just making the hitbox bigger would solve a lot of issues, I think.
It's not over yet. Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
Oh, and I was investigating the precise reason why 5P 2D, or like any move into 2D, was failing so much for Zato. It's partly a range issue. Like extending the range would solve his issues, but the other thing is a lot of characters like getting hit animation retract the foot portion of their hitbox exactly on the frame, the 9th frame, where Zato's 2D appears. And so if 2D was 1 frame faster at 8 frames, that would also fix like the majority of his issues that he has with landing 2D. Which is incredibly unfortunate because it's like just on that 1 frame. And if it was just 1 frame faster, so many 2Ds would not go whiffed.
Duel. Two. All or nothing.
But a byproduct of that research, it turns out that Zato is the #1 most difficult character to 5P 2D as Zato. And it further feeds into the idea that the Zato-Zato matchup is a 4-4 matchup. That mirror match is a horrible experience for both players. And this just goes to feed into more data to prove it. Actually, executorable. Black Hill Daddy. There we go. I think that was the first more than 2 loop I've seen from this player.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
It also turns out that Pot is not the easiest character to 5P 2D. And that award goes to Faust. So Faust is the easiest, followed by Kum, and then followed by Potemkin. Potemkin is #3 in that list. As expected, Venom, I think it was like #4. Milia is like #3-ish. Deadman and Elfeld have the same difficulty. And I kind of wish this could be applied for more situations for more characters, but it really is just for Zato. It's like a 2D that specifically has Zato's 2D range, and also Zato's 2D's startup, which is 9 frames. There, I don't think is I don't think there's any normal that meets those requirements for other characters. That doesn't kill. Alright. So was it for their spread legs and big shoes that I hit more of them? Yeah, so it has to do with like a lot of characters, like while they're getting hit, their hurt box is kind of like extended a little bit in front of them on the ground. But it just happens to be the case that that little extension on the ground gets retracted on the frame that Zota's 2D comes out. And that obviously is not good news for this character. You can try 2D Shadow Gallery on the way up. Is that burst bait? He did like a 2B into jump JH, I think. I gotta check a ping after this. He's making that kind of mistake a lot right now, and I think it's because he's trying to wait as much as he can to bait burst before doing anything else. That sucks, his 2D has little to no range. Yeah, like, the range is okay-ish. It's not great. But again, it's the range plus the startup. That's the issue. One frame faster, and it would have been so much more consistent across the entire cast. Run not coming out. It's kind of okay. Probably die here. That's fine. Lightweights are very hard to combo that way in the corner. With the I-80 W gallery. Age active hitboxes.
Duel 3. Keep on rocking.
Sometimes you can tell when I'm baiting bursts based on the direction Eddie's moving in. Like if he's constantly moving backwards during a combo, I'm probably baiting bursts. But other times, like that last burst just now, the currently ongoing move kind of masks what Eddie's doing, so it's harder to tell. But honestly, there are a lot of situations where you can just kind of look at what Eddie is doing and you can tell where the burst bait is. I do not have bursts on me. It's like there's that of looking at what Eddie is doing, and then secondly, just looking at what Zota was doing also. If I'm just like crouching there, waiting for the move to finish, that's also a free burst bait point. Done after this. Just stun? I don't think it does. Even if it didn't kill.
All or nothing.
He wants to play neutral with me with May buttons, and I shouldn't be welcoming it, but it is tempting. Zota cannot really compete with Zota buttons in this matchup. I could walk a little bit backwards before it dusts. I think that's... I wonder if that's worth it. When 5D is far enough away, it is burst safe. think most situations you just can't walk far enough for that to be the case anyways, but maybe it's worth it. Next one stuns.
Duel 2. All or nothing.
With this game run on a HP Windows 10 Pro laptop. The brand and specific Windows version matters less than the actual, like the CPU, GPU. If you're running on an integrated Intel card, it probably will struggle quite a bit. There are settings you can fiddle with outside of the game, like in a settings file, to make it more doable, but your mileage may vary. If your game is like just on the cusp of being playable in trainer mode, make sure you also test it out in training in actual matches, like online, because that does add a little bit of processing requirements to the game. But for the most part, you turn off all of the most of the things that make the game look nicer anyways to play on less delay. If you Google ggxrd potato.ini, you'll probably find the file I'm thinking of. And it does make the game runnable on far more devices, but it, again, may vary depending. That summon is verboten. You cannot do that.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
He's gonna get stunned soon. There we go.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
I'm mashing. I think it's fine. At this HP, mid screen. Damn. See, very fast. Low.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
Oh, look at that range. Never say never with me. No truer words about the matchup.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
How was that dead angle? Did I miss it? That must have been dead angle, otherwise my normal wouldn't have whiffed, right? He did not let go forward. Last one, he says.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
That whiff animation just now, that is her command grab, and it does do like the big swing into the other side of the screen that she can combo from. If that's what you mean.
All or nothing. It's not over yet.
GG's. Oh, sorry, I have a ping. One sec. Oh, wrong menu.
Dares to enter the mayhem. Great. Who dares to enter the mayhem? Alena.
Yeah, this thing has an insane 50-meter extension that looks like this. And we can also do loops. As such. And I know you can do 4 on some characters. I know, but I don't remember which ones. The thing with this loop is that each loop puts the opponent character on a different side of the screen. So if you want to keep your opponent in the corner, you have to do the right number of loops so that you always have them on the right side, you know? You could just do that. The much easier option is you can just do this also. Which, solid knockdown, also goes from corner to corner for free. Also, I was screwing around earlier, and Soul can do 9H like this and get a jump install. Mei can technically also do the same, so she can jump like this after. Normally, if you do 6H Dolphin, you cannot jump after. 9H does allow you to do this, which is not useful at all, by the way, because you can just do this, which is something that does not require you to jump install. It is much easier, but cool to see. With Soul, with Soul, what you can do is you can do 9H here, and then get an air backdash, and get a combo this way. Same thing here. Normally, this RC, if you do not jump install, you cannot air backdash or jump. But the 9 input on H seems to allow you to. I'm waiting on a response from someone, and if they respond I will be done, but otherwise I'll find someone else to play. Oh. Okay, yeah, that is a positive response, so I am done for tonight. I will be back pretty soon.